Do you wonder about past lives? Have you ever thought about where your soul has been, where it's going, or what lessons and memories have been gathered along the way? In this podcast, we will discuss past life memories, psychic phenomena, energy healing, and other metaphysical topics with experts and the average person to find out how we can heal through these experiences. So I invite you to join me on my journey. Welcome to the Regression Session. Yeah, like the swearing. I'm okay if we say like shit and every other swear word. Welcome back to the Regression Session. My name is Ian. Welcome to the Regression Session to any new listeners. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. Don't forget to subscribe in the podcast player if you're new and you haven't done that yet. And don't forget to share the podcast episode with everybody that you know in the entire world. I haven't been uploading much recently because I have been extremely busy. I'm really kind of going through it right now. I swear you guys hear that so often, but it's true this time, I swear. And I also haven't had a lot of episodes. I know there are those of you that have reached out to me and that those of you who I've contacted and then kind of fell off the face of the earth. Just know that I'm not doing that on purpose, and I'm really going to make an effort to get back to you guys very, very soon and get the show rolling in full swing again. But in the meantime, I have recorded an episode with my good friend Alia from Glowing Gaia, and she's been on my show 2 other times. She is a past life worker, an energy healer, she is an aura reader, and all sorts of other stuff. She's super great, she's super knowledgeable. And in this episode, we're actually going to talk about the physical side of being healthy. Because on my show, I've covered, like the spiritual side of things, the mental side, the emotional side, the energetic side. But we exist in this world physically as well. And the physical side of things is extremely important. We talk about my own eating disorder that I have struggled with for my entire life, and then Alia's eating disorder that she has struggled with for most of her life as well. And we go into like the psychology that we've experienced behind that. I talk about my most embarrassing meal. It was like 15,000 calories. It was insane. So definitely stay tuned for that and much more on this episode. And here is my conversation with Alia. Hey, Alia, thanks for coming back on the show. I've missed having you on.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here for my 3rd time.
I know. You're just like a wealth of knowledge, and you're fun to talk to. I feel like we're friends now. We're friends.
I would definitely say so. We get along really, really well. It's just easy to talk to you for sure.
Yeah. I agree.
I was just gonna say, people
with
say I'm a wealth of knowledge all the time, and I just think I'm a blabbermouth. I don't even know where it comes from. But it's great to be back.
You missed my joke though.
No, I totally did. What was your joke?
You said you're easy to talk to, and I said I agree with what you said.
That you're easy to talk to?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a dad joke, dude. That's a dad joke.
You know what I am?
A dad?
I am a dad. And you know what? The first time I ever made a dad joke, Alia, it was like the most pure form of high ever. I'm going to be chasing that the rest of my life. Like my son was like, Daddy, I'm hungry. He says hungry. He's like, Daddy, I'm hungry. And I was like, hi, hungry. I'm dad.
Ah, okay, you went full classic and you're proud of it, I guess. The
So
funniest thing
proud.
about dad jokes is dads are so proud of their dumb dad jokes.
You'll never understand, Alia. All the
Mhm.
dads out there, you'll get it. I know you will. They get it. It's a thing. It's a
It's a
thing.
thing. It's your thing,
Anyway,
and you can keep it.
I I think that I'm gonna assume that future Ian handled this part. So that's a future Ian problem. But I think I'm gonna superimpose that part where we talked about my most embarrassing meal that I ever ate. So in this part of the episode, I am going to basically just cut and paste the conversation that Alia and I had that kind of led up to us talking about the physical side of things. And this is a conversation kind of about when I actually acknowledged my eating disorder for what it was, but then just continued to not do anything about it and let it run my life. So here's that conversation. So I had this aha moment a while back when I changed the name of my show from the Regression Session, a guide to past lives in the metaphysical, to exploring healing through past lives in the metaphysical. I had this big aha moment where I was like, oh my God, we exist in this reality mentally, energetically, emotionally, spiritually, but physically. And I'm like, my show hits the first four, but I'm really kind of like lagging on the physical part pretty hard. Right. And so I'm like, if I'm going to promote holistic health, I need to get to the point where I'm physically healthy too.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I finally in my life, I feel like I had this big breakthrough moment where I was just like, I'm done being unhealthy, man. I started being a vegetarian and I still wasn't like losing weight because I was still eating a lot. And I was like, damn. And what I was going to tell you was the moment like 4 or 5 years ago when I realized that I had an eating disorder, like binge eating disorder. My mom apparently knew that I had binge eating disorder because my pediatrician told her when I was like 3 or 4 that it was a high risk that I could develop binge eating disorder because I was born like 2 months premature with all sorts of complications. And she's like, hey, just so you know, it's a high probability that he could get binge eating disorder because his body will crave extra food because his body will feel like it's all constantly malnourished.
Yeah.
Because it's I guess it's like a genetic response or something. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But I had this conversation and my mom's like, oh yeah, I knew that. And I was like, what the hell? You could have told me. But I'm going to tell you the biggest meal that I ever ate. And I sat back afterwards, like when I was laying in bed, and I was like, oh my God, I must have an eating disorder. So check this out. I went to McDonald's, and this wasn't like a special occasion or anything. Okay. This was like, oh, it's a Wednesday night and we're going to go get dinner and I'm going to sit down and watch Naruto or whatever. Right. I got 2 double cheeseburgers or 2 McDoubles and 2 spicy McChickens, 2 large fries. And that's a lot. And then I got 2 Big Macs. And then I got 2 20-piece McNuggets.
2 20-piece nuggets?
Yeah. And then 2 apple pies. 2 hot fudge sundaes. And my wife, she got like a 6-piece nugget and a cheeseburger. She didn't even get any fries. She replaced the fries with nuggets. And I feel like that's like a very reasonable meal to eat. Right? And she only ate the cheeseburger and then like 3 nuggets. And she's like, And I walk in there and she's like, I was like, you want those nuggets? And she's like, no. And I was like, great. And I took those and I ate those too. And then I was sitting there like maybe 30 minutes after I was done eating. Oh, I also got 2 sodas too, 2 large drinks. And I was sitting there maybe 30 minutes after I was done eating, and I was like, I'm watching a movie or a show here. Maybe I think I want some popcorn too. So I made 3 bags of microwave popcorn. I ate all that stuff.
Oh my God. Doesn't your body like, aren't you in pain by that point?
You would think so. But no, dude, I was like, I'm going to eat some popcorn too. I sat there and I ate 3 bags of popcorn. And I thought about making a 4th one too.
Whoa.
And then later that night, like after I'd sat for like a couple hours, I think I went and made some like pork egg rolls too in the microwave, like 3 or 4 pork egg rolls. Those pork egg rolls that I was making are like 150 calories each. So that was another like 600 calories right there.
It's a very expensive disorder.
Oh, I made like $80,000 a year back then.
That's right. That's right. I remember that. Holy shit, dude. That's rough.
Yeah. And then late that night I was laying there. I was thinking, wow, I think I just ate like 15,000 calories. Just on a random, whatever, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. Maybe Friday night. I don't know, whenever it was.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my God, I think I have a problem. And then guess what? I didn't do anything about it. I just kept on eating on average, probably about 7,000 or 8,000 calories a day.
Wow.
And nowadays, I think I'm down to eating like maybe 1,800 to 2,000, but I'm burning like 3,000 a day. So I'm usually in a deficit.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, thinking about eating that much now makes me want to throw up. I got what did I get the other day? I got like a foot long sub from Subway, right? And obviously I'm a vegetarian, so it was just veggies and like guacamole or whatever they have there, like that nasty just avocado. And I ate just the 6-inch and then maybe some like air fried French fries on the side. And I was like, oh, I'm so full.
Oh, that's great progress.
I know, right?
The mental fortitude to overcome any type of disordered eating is hard.
It's a bitch. Hard. It's a bitch, Alia. And it's hard. And that's why I'm doing my podcast. And eventually I'm going to incorporate like physical health into it too. Because it's important.
That'd be great. Yeah. When I had total opposite end of the eating disorder scale, they didn't even have a word for it. They're just like, your eating's you're disordered because your body's traumatized. They literally had no words for it. But it was so hard to climb out of that. And it was like, I'd make progress and I'd make progress and I'd make progress. And then I'd fall off the wagon. And I was like, all the work I had done was just for nothing. And I had to start all over again. Cause like if I skipped any time that I was hungry.
Like trying to gain weight, basically?
I was
or just
not.
Like just to eat?
Just
normally?
To eat. Like before I started smoking weed, I couldn't eat. I would have one meal every 3 days. And I'd have a very small meal. And that's it. I literally, my body ate just enough not to starve, and everything else, like I could have my favorite food in front of me and I couldn't eat it. Couldn't eat any of it. And I had to go to a nutritionist, and she was just like saying, you need to have like a lot of snacks. And she forbade me from becoming a vegan, which I have a lot of guilt about to this day. And I just had to like climb out of that disordered eating thing. And luckily my partner now cooks. And it's funny because he's a preemie and he definitely has tendencies that not anything to the level you described, but he is not afraid to, like, he has binge eaten before, like he's had bulimic tendencies before, and he's a preemie. So I wonder if that has.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if that's a huge factor in it, but I'm not going to just blame it on just being a preemie. I definitely just didn't give a shit. Like I just was like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to release this part because this is personal, but like.
But now you're handling it. That's amazing.
Well, I'm trying.
You're handling it. You are. You're doing.
I'm just not interested in like eating that much anymore. It was like a switch got flipped one day. And I was just like, huh.
Yeah. I didn't want to be weak anymore because I was just exhausted all the
Yeah.
time. Couldn't do anything ever.
I'm exhausted because of the other side of that. Like
Mm.
we're opposite sides of the same coin.
Yeah, definitely complete opposite ends. It's just like I think with any physical battle, the hardest part is the mentality to get better. Like, because you want to get better, but
And
it's
the
hard to just make
guilt.
that switch. The guilt's huge. And it's crazy because like I still have so much guilt about eating meat, and I'm terrified to give up meat because I'm terrified of my disordered eating coming back and me not being able to provide for myself. But I
They
like
make
feel like
really good meat substitutes.
I bet they do. I have so many
Impossible.
the impossible stuff, yeah, but it's not like good for you. It's a lot of chemicals.
Yeah, but it's not meat though.
Yeah, true. Thing is, I don't know. I have a ways to go with my eating journey because the reason, and I still have problems with it, because the only reason I eat regularly now is because my partner cooks. And if he is gone at work all day, I just won't eat. And I'll have like the bare minimum. And that's not good. Like that doesn't show that I have like actually overcome my problem. It just means that I have someone who helps me with my problem now.
Hmm.
But that food stuff, it's rough. And the mental behind it is rough and it's hard.
Well, because like we have to eat as humans.
Yeah.
And like food is like a lot of people's happy place, even people who have a healthy relationship with it.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? Jeez. I kind of want to just like start off by talking about that. And now we're going to cut back to the original conversation that we started with Alia. I hope that you guys enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. I learned a lot about myself and a lot about, you know, the disorder that I was dealing with. So here we go, back to the episode. Because I didn't know that you kind of, and I don't know if you're super comfortable going into your side of things.
Yeah. Open book. No worries.
But like the physical part of health also, I think it's really important. I've been wanting to talk about this on my show, and we totally weren't planning on talking about this at all.
No. This just came out.
Well, I think it's important. You know,
I think
it is
too.
important. It's very important. Like your physical health matters. And you know, we might get a little some people that might get a little there's a lot of tender feelings about this topic, I think, like weight loss and calorie management and
weight gain also.
Weight, oh my God, weight gain. It's just like we attach so much.
And as spiritual people, you know, a lot of times you do focus a lot on the spiritual healing and the emotional healing, mental, but a lot of times the physical gets left behind. And a lot of people I've noticed have like an escapist kind of thought, especially when they first get into their spiritual awakening, where they're almost trying to leave their body behind, live in the astral, live in a place that's not here. But your physical body is essential to your spiritual health as well. Like they have to go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I am certain that people who've been listening to me for a long time, they will all kind of understand that when you do spiritual healing, and I know that you'll attest to this too, you have physical symptoms that will come out in sessions.
Definitely.
You'll get hot, you'll get cold, you'll have chills, you'll have like whatever random jaw pains. And so that's definitely true, but your physicality can also affect your spirituality too. Like
Definitely.
the way you can connect.
Absolutely. I've been really getting into somatics lately, which is like a lot of body movement meets energy healing. And I love being an energy healer. I love it. But I've noticed that like when you actually pair it with movement, it works so much faster and so much easier. Like things shift without, I don't know, over analyzing it through the energy. And so the physical nature is a huge influence on the spiritual nature. But I come from a very in pain background, and Ian was telling me that he also comes from an in pain background. So it's kind of hard to pair the physical with the spiritual when you're kind of used to your body being in pain all the time.
Yeah. And those of you who are listening to this, who've worked with me, and I've used my core realignment method that I've developed on you, you'll understand that like I look at it like your physicality, and I'm sure Alia, you can, and I'm talking to you too here, like your physicality. I was telling you this when we first started talking, is we exist in this world with all of our whole entire existence all at once, like emotionally, energetically, spiritually, physically, all of those all happen all at the same time. And I feel like the people who only incorporate, and I feel like this is really, really common, people will only incorporate like either just one thing or just like one or two things.
Yeah.
And they will not incorporate all of it as a package deal. And that's what it is a package deal, is like holistic being healing.
Yes,
I
I
love that
actually.
somatic stuff you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, the somatics is amazing. I've been doing this hip trauma release, and it's just these really simple, really relaxed hip exercises every day. And I feel amazing. I have released so much trauma in my dreams, in my sleep, without really fully being consciously aware of it, but also kind of aware of what I'm releasing. And I truly feel like a new person, because energetically you store a lot of trauma in your hips, and it's hard to energetically brush that out. But these movements have made a huge difference. What you're talking about reminded me, though, this past month, I was really feeling distant from my business, and my business is my baby. And I was like tuning into myself and my spirit guides, and I was trying to ask, like, why am I feeling so disconnected from my business? And they were saying, because you're disconnected from your physical health, you have to think of yourself as almost like as a ball. And it's like you have your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, and your physical. And if one of those goes weak, the ball goes flat and it can't move forward anymore. And so you try to push in one direction, you're just dragging that ball. But if you have all of those like in alignment with each other, the ball just gets to roll and just gets to move forward without feeling like you're dragging forward.
Nobody saw what you were doing with your hands. So
Oh. I had very great hand expressions, listeners, just so you know.
it's a really good metaphor.
I feel like the words make sense, though. Everyone knows what a ball is and what a flat ball doesn't do.
I'm
But
just giving you a hard time.
it's like I was over analyzing on my business. I was saying like, no, I just got to keep focusing on my business. And the answer was, no, you got to figure out how to feel connected to your body again and enjoy your body again. And then all the rest of it will come naturally.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I'm definitely feeling that. Like, and I bet you people, like, I bet you almost everybody out there will agree with this, is I'm just going to say it, like my gut feeling. I don't enjoy being in my body. And I haven't been. Like, me losing all the weight that I've lost recently has made me definitely feel more comfortable in my body, but I still like do not enjoy being in my body, because I know how unhealthy my body has been. And it's like, it's getting better, but I know that I still have a long ways to go to get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to just be like, I've got this, like I've got my life down, when I just like, man, but I feel so gross in my body.
Mm.
And
Do you,
yeah,
are you giving yourself credit though? Because like
that's a
you've
hard
accomplished
part.
a lot so far. Like
And
a
I'm
lot.
not, like, body dysmorphia is a real thing.
Oh, it's so sorry.
No, you're good. Like, it is.
Body dysmorphia is so hard. It is
My
so hard.
I have a really good example of this. My brother is jacked. Like, my brother is a good looking man. He is like super buff. He's got like a perfectly square jawline. Like, he's the most handsome one in my family. Swear on God. Like, but he sits there and he's like, I just texted him the other day in like a super low moment, and this is kind of funny. And I mean for it to be funny. It's kind of depressing, but it was funny at the time. I just texted him and I was just like, I'm fat. And he said, bro, I feel that on a spiritual level.
Oh,
And I was just like, oh, wow. But you look so good. Like, he
yeah.
looks really good. And I'm like, dude, if he's lost all this weight, but he still to this day struggles with the body dysmorphia. And whenever I look at myself in the mirror, I still pretty much just see a fat guy.
Yeah. I've been having body dysmorphia issues because Ian and I were talking how we're both on different ends of the eating disorder scale, and I developed disordered eating after being in a significant amount of pain that affected my ability to eat. And my body just didn't want to eat. I couldn't get past the mental block, and I just couldn't get food down. And luckily, I've made huge strides. I do eat regularly now, which is amazing because I didn't for a long time. But naturally, the good thing is I gained weight because of that. And that's a good thing. However, I'm no longer looking like Hollywood models because I actually have calories in me on a day-to-day basis. And when I look in the mirror, I don't know what I look like. All I see is the extra. And I know that extra should be there. However, it's like my brain takes it to the most negative place. And I've told my partner so many times that I look in the mirror and I don't know if what I'm seeing, I can't tell if I'm fat or if I'm skinny, or I can't tell what I actually look like to the world.
Yeah, you look good though.
Thank you.
I think you've got it down. Like, I think that you're on the right track. Like,
Yeah.
there is a noticeable difference. Like, when I talk to you, you have like your skin tone is better and it's like glowing. Like, you definitely look good.
I've been told that a lot. I've had so many people be like, you don't understand how healthy you look now. And it's really nice to hear that because it's hard for me to focus on that, especially because for me, it was such a gradual increase to getting better that my skin, you're right, I had really bad skin. I was like sunken eyeballs. Like you could tell that I was not nutrient. I don't know. I wasn't getting my nutrients and stuff. And it's rough. It's rough because we also have all these standards around us to live up to, and there's so much pressure to be
Unrealistic standards.
completely unrealistic. And we're finally in a stage in our society where we're trying to be more than that and accept the body types, but that doesn't undo decades and decades of trauma. And before media, we had corsets and we all had a stigma to fit into for so long. It's rough. But thank you for saying I look healthier. I definitely feel healthier. I'm at that limbo. I was in pain for so long, and now my pain is better than it's ever been, and I'm able to eat again. And I don't have to rely on smoking weed to not die every day. But it's at that point where I have to get physically stronger to heal the rest of it. Like to make sure my bones get back to where they need to go. Like I need to get physically stronger. And that's my next blockage is how do I tackle that when everything I've done for so long just caused more pain in my body. So now I'm just like limbo where I can see the next step, but that's why I was telling Ian, I just bought a little portable Stairmaster and it's my new BFF as of 2 days ago. So we'll see if that helps.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. And you know what? I think what's really helped me, because like you were saying, we're on opposite ends of the same coin. You struggled with eating, and as future Ian probably hopefully took care of this part, but that most embarrassing meal, like I was on the opposite. I couldn't stop eating.
Yeah.
Like I remember like on a normal night here with my wife, I could sit down and let's just say we're having like spaghetti or something. I would have like 3 or 4 bowls of spaghetti, just eating and eating and eating. And my wife would try to like be like, hey, maybe you should stop. And I would just be like, what? So you think I'm like, what, who do you think you are? Like,
Defensive,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. And what's really helped me to jump into like physical health and like get into it and is just making it a routine.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Now.
Like
so hard.
Making it a lifestyle. I saw this. I definitely try to stay off. We were talking about like TikTok and I try to stay off TikTok, but there is like some gems in there. And one of the things that I found on there was this guy and he's like, I've lost 150 pounds. And the thing that helped me the most is I asked myself this question before making any lifestyle changes at all. I asked myself, is this something that I can commit to doing for 10 years?
Yeah.
And that made in my head, I was like, oh my God, that's powerful. Because people think
Huge.
you have to give up like ice cream and your favorite foods and eating out and going back for seconds sometimes. But if you
It's
do
a
that, can you not do that for 10 years?
it's a lifestyle change. It's a huge lifestyle change. And for me, like the question is like, what am I going to love doing every day? Because if I am just like exercising for the sake of exercise, that has an end date and it's probably sooner than I want it to be. But if I find a type of exercise that I love doing and have excitement while I'm doing it, that means I'll keep doing it and I'll keep going. And I'm working on figuring out what that is right now.
Yeah, and also, and I kind of feel like we're jumping all over the place, but there's so much to this topic, like just physical health and the stigmas around it. Another thing is like the food part of it too, is just like obviously exercising is important, but the real weight gain and weight loss, depending on which side of the coin you're on, is going to be from the diet, right?
Mm.
So you've got to like ask yourself, like, if for me as a vegetarian, it's like, what can I do to be a vegetarian to enjoy eating? Otherwise, I'm
Yeah.
just going to lose it.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose
Yeah.
it and I'm going to slip back into my old habits.
Exactly. Finding the joy is huge. Finding things that you like doing is key to the long lasting results. Because if you hate doing it, why do you want to live a life you hate? Why do you want to have aspects of your life you don't like, especially when it's a vital aspect like your physical health?
It is vital. And it's just so hard.
It's hard. It's hard to break out of the narratives you grew up in too. Like I was chronically in pain for years and it just looked for a long time like I wouldn't get better. The doctors just couldn't figure it out. And so when you live with that narrative, you just kind of, I don't know. And I assume that's the same for a lot of different struggles out there, is that if you bind yourself to a narrative, it makes it even harder to break out of that narrative. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
does make sense. Example, the narrative that I had was I'm fat and there's nothing I can do about it.
Mm.
I'm going to be fat for the rest of my life. I even had my doctor, he sat me down one time. He's like, Ian, man, can I say something to you? Just like very frank and blunt. It might hurt your feelings, but I'm not trying to. And I was like, okay, sure, doc, lay it on me. And he just sits there for a second, like debating, and he just goes, okay, you're fat and you're going to die. Just like straight up, you're fat and you're going to die if you don't do something about it. And I just sat there and looked at him. And what do you think my first thought was?
F you.
You're an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was right.
Yeah.
He was totally right. And
It,
the narratives is so hard. Like the first part is admitting there's a problem.
yeah. Yeah. I'm just honestly, dude, though, I really hope you do give yourself credit and appreciation, because I have two brothers who struggle with their weight, and one of them is technically special needs, and so he's a bit of a gray zone. But the other one, he's joined groups and he's gotten better, and then he gives up, and then he tries, and then he gives up. And I can't even blame him for it, because I don't know what it's like to be in that body. I don't know what it's like to be in that experience, but I know that the mental fortitude it takes to get the work done is hard. And so the fact that you have lost as much as you have right now is really, really, really commendable. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And it's not going to be easy tomorrow, but it is worth it. And I think that's the whole healing journey, is most of it, it's easy somewhat to a degree, like spiritual healing, but a lot of it is hard. But that doesn't make it not worth it. It all is at the end of the day.
Yeah. I should give myself credit. I look way better than I used to. I have like, and this might be like TMI or whatever, but like I have like hanging skin
Oh,
too. Like
nice.
it's well, yeah, it's nice.
I bet
but
it's
also
uncomfortable, but that shows.
totally, like you can see it through my clothes and stuff. But yeah,
But
like giving myself
from
credit is very hard.
The first podcast we were on, you looked totally different. Or even the second one, like you look like a new person and your face looks like it's glowing more now too. Like if we don't celebrate the little victories we give ourselves, then we won't ever even know how to acknowledge the big ones. Like if you don't celebrate it now, then when will you start celebrating it?
Probably never.
Yeah.
I'll
So
probably end up just like my brother with looking really, really good and then having body dysmorphia and just being like, man, I look terrible and I'm still fat.
That's hard. Today I got on my little step thingy for like 15 minutes and I was like, yes, you did that. You did that. Because for me, I'm an encouragement bunny. If I don't have encouragement, I will die. And so I have to be my own encouragement bunny when it comes to this because no one else is going to do it for me. But every time you go to the gym or every time you do anything for your physical self, you should give yourself a little hell yeah. Because there was always the choice not to do that. And you chose to do it. It's not, well, of course I should do this. No. I mean, yeah, but that doesn't take away from the victory. That doesn't take away from the fact that you can't overcame that mental challenge and the narrative to fight against it and make better for yourself.
Yeah, and this is something, and what I'm about to say is like a gem. It's like a real, if you're going to take anything away from anything up to this point, I think that this will be it. 50% of something or 25% or 10% or whatever of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like if let's just say in my case, specifically in my case, and your case and everybody's case will be completely different. But like, let's just say, I get like a massive plate we'll go back to spaghetti again. I feel like spaghetti is a common food people eat.
Love spaghetti.
Yeah.
Love it.
Let's just say I'm going to get a plate of spaghetti and I'm like, you know what? I think I have a little bit too much on my plate. And I scoop off like, a little portion of that. And then I go back and I eat the whole plate. I could have ate the rest of that and said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like everybody wants these big steps. Everybody wants to take huge, huge steps and leaps and bounds and make all this progress and yada, yada. And really, like, it just comes down, I think, to little baby steps, especially with physical health.
Yeah, with everything. That's like one of the big lessons of life is it's about the little things. What makes a good relationship? It's the little things you do for each other. Like for me, my business, I baby stepped little tiny little steps got me all the way to being successful and fully supporting myself with my career. And if I had to think like I need big strides to get there, I would have never got there. And for working out, like I went from coma, like just incapable of moving without being in a lot of pain. So now I'm trying. And that's a big thing for me. In high school, was like a cross country runner and it was like the most intense workouts. And it was the sense of when I was trying to reclaim my health, like if I'm not doing the most, then I'm doing nothing, but that's not going to get me anywhere in life. And so for me, celebrating the fact that I was 15 minutes on my little Stepmaster today is a great step towards my physical health, and just rewarding that is huge. Baby steps make your life in every direction.
Yeah, every direction. Like, so I want to go back and recap so far because I want to make this somewhat. I guess my job as a content creator is to take all the jumbled mess and put it into digestible, like a digestible way. So like for the audience listening, breaking down all the extra stuff in between, I guess like the steps, and tell me if you disagree or whatever, is like the first step I think is like admitting that there's a problem or that you need to change or that you want to change. The second step is being willing to change and like being willing to take the baby steps, like being willing to ask yourself the questions of, am I willing to do this for the next 1, 5, 10 years, and finding something that you can make a routine. And this is in regards to everything, but my mindset is right now physical health. That's kind of where my mindset is in this conversation. And then taking little baby steps and then rewarding yourself, and not necessarily like rewarding yourself, but like celebrating the baby steps.
Yeah.
Because rewarding
Yeah.
yourself, especially with weight loss, like a lot of your reward system is with food.
Yeah,
I'm going to
definitely. And that's
celebrate
not
and
it.
go out to eat. Maybe not reward yourself that way. Maybe reward yourself with like a movie night or whatever.
Yeah, whatever feels good.
Like the baby steps. I lost my first 5 pounds. Oh my God, I haven't lost any weight in 10 years.
Yeah.
Right?
And for me, it's just like getting up and doing something, getting up and walking for me is big because I'm afraid of my body. And it was hard and I don't think I ever out loud admit that till this moment, but my body's caused me so much pain that there's a huge fear around it, which means that your body is your biggest manifester. It is your biggest, like you manifest from your body, your whole body works for it. It's a huge powerhouse. And if you're disconnected from your body, you're disconnected from the life that you're best to live. And I'd also like to say that there's for step 1 that you're talking about, being able to admit there's a problem, and step 2, being willing to act, there tends to be a lot of space in between there. Lots of months or even years of you knowing and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I want you to know that's okay. But you do have to make the decision to start one day, and don't let that because it got worse. If it's because it got worse and shit has hit the fan, maybe don't let that be the fire under your butt that gets you going. It's a baby step. And realistic goals. Oh, I was just going to say realistic goals, because we talk about baby steps, that if you expect yourself to run a marathon by the end of the year, do you really think you're going to want to run a marathon by the end of the year? But if you say like, I'm going to walk my dog a little bit more, like reasonable goals, attainable goals that are fun for your life and not just another exhausting thing to do in this exhausting world we live in.
And if running a marathon is what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Right?
Go for it, for sure.
One other thing, like the space in between, right? There was years, literally a decade for me between the time I realized that there was a problem and I was like, I've always known I was fat, right? It's not a secret. You can't hide that you're fat, And that might come across to some people as insensitive, but that's just for me. I'm not going around like calling anybody else fat. So if you're overweight, I love you. You're fine.
Yeah.
Keep working at it. I'm not judging you. I'm judging
If you're
myself.
happy in your body and you're not what they'd consider thin, that doesn't matter. You're happy and you're comfortable in your body, which is more than most people can say.
Yeah. This isn't meant as like an attack on anybody who's comfortable or struggling or anything like that. This is just a reflection of like my journey. But also I do think that it's important to like say, if you're going to work on your spirituality, you need to work on your physical health too. And the gap in between me realizing that, oh my God, okay, I have a problem, and being willing to do it and then actually doing it, like there is a huge gap. And in that gap, it was filled with this little tiny thing called guilt. A lot of guilt. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I was sick for so long that I was ridden with guilt because I felt like I couldn't exist without putting my pain on other people and then there's a guilt that I wasn't getting better. And I was like, well, I could be doing more. But at the time, did I actually have more I was capable of? No, I didn't. And I didn't give myself that credit. The guilt is huge and it weighs on you and it eats at you. Absolutely, it eats at you.
Chips away at your self-confidence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you have self-confidence to chip away at, I had zero self-confidence. My spine, the injury that caused all the issues was exactly in my solar plexus, and your solar plexus rules over your confidence and identity. And so to have an injury that severe in that region means that previous to that, I had absolutely no confidence. None at all.
Yeah, I remember we worked on that. Like we did a session and we worked on that. I remember that.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better. I have like mostly like nerve issues now and like breathing issues, but that part of my body is so much better than it was. And I have to celebrate those victories because even though there's still a road to recovery ahead of me, if I don't recognize how far I've come, then what's the point?
Yeah, and also I want to circle back because you said you took a really big step, by the way. And I want you to I want to point out, validate you for saying that you were like scared of your body. And you said, I haven't really ever admitted that. That's like a really big thing to admit.
Yeah.
Like you just barely did that. Great job. Great
Thank you.
work.
It was a profound moment for me. It was profound because I feel like there's so many times in my life where I tried, and I just ended up in pain. And then I was like, why are you trying? And
What's
it's
the
also like,
point?
what's the point? What's the point of doing anything if it's just is going to result in me being in pain? And now it's a lot more of a mental mindset is there is one the thing and a big thing for me to realize is my body is not against me. My body, as much pain as it is, it doesn't want to be in pain. It didn't want to experience those things. Those are a result of imbalances and emotional imbalances. My pain taught me so much. In a lot of ways, it taught me to respect my body and to heal it and to talk to it. And I think that fear that I'm really now recognizing I still have with my body is just another layer of healing to re-engage with it and not shy away from that anymore.
I just saw like the aha moment in your eyes. That was so
Yeah.
cool. I saw you just like, huh, how about that?
How about that? I don't know. I feel really good. I've been on this healing journey a while, and it never really ends, but you reach other stages, and sometimes it's just really exciting to reach new stages. And while I'm not where I want to be yet, because I do want to I want to be flexible. Never been flexible in my life. I want to be able to like do the splits. Me and my partner are getting into acro yoga. I want to be one of those like crazy white people, because I kind of am a crazy white person. And just being like thrown in the air and just doing crazy. Like that's what I want for myself. But it's okay because that I'm not there yet. Because at least I'm trying. Little steps.
Yeah, I feel like we're like being really vulnerable with like a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like my turn to be vulnerable. I'm at like a super low point in my life right now. I feel like I have been. I've kind of alluded to this a few times on my show. Like for like the last 4 years, I think I've been felt like I've just been getting kicked in the nuts over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very freeing to just like say that out loud, but like, god damn, I've been struggling, man. Like I'm coming off like a 4-month break or 3-month break from my show because I just didn't have it in me. I'm just like, I had people reaching out to me. And by the way, thank you for those people who reached out to me. You guys are badass, man. Like you kept me going.
That's so sweet, dude. It's sweet. And honestly, like, I feel like a lot of spiritualists, when they hear someone's having a hard time, they're like, focus on the good, just focus on the great. And I think that's some BS. I think you have to like really look at the pain and the hardship and be like, yeah, this sucks, but this is not going to be my life. When I was at my lowest point, that lasted for years. I literally just looked at the pain, I looked at the energy, and I had no money, I had nothing. And I was like, this isn't going to define me. This pain has to be for something. This difficulty, these trials that won't stop has to be taking me to a place that I want to be in. And little by little, and I really mean little by little, I got there. And now I'm just going to say it because it happened 2 days ago. And I'm really excited, but I got engaged 2 days ago. Super stoked to the man of my dreams. I have a business that supports me. And even that, I had a really low month last month. Last month was one of the most mentally challenging months I've had in a really long time. And what I did is I owned it. I was like, I'm having a hard time. I need to take a freaking nap, and not put so much pressure on myself. And the moment I do that, I start to feel the will to live again, is when I give myself permission to feel like crap for a little bit.
It's hard too because it's like I got shit to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're a dad. You have a full-time job and you do this. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, and I was talking to you about the pressure sometimes that I feel like the pressure to like help people manage their anxiety or like their spiritual trauma. It's like it can be a lot, especially when people come to me and they're like, and I've had people. And by the way, this isn't me saying like, don't do this. Like, if you're here, please reach out to me. I'm here to help you. But it can be, a little overwhelming at times to have people be like, you're the first person I found that I feel comfortable with. And it's like,
oh,
wow, there's
sweet.
like a lot of people out there. who knows
Yeah.
how long they've been looking. And it's like, what if I work with them and I fail them? You know what I mean? It's
Oh
like
my God, I know what you mean.
what
Absolutely.
if I work with them and then they walk away and they're like, wow, that was a huge disappointment.
Oh, I feel that so
I've been
hardcore.
listening to Ian's podcast for a year or two or whatever, and I've been whatever, and I reached out to him, finally got the courage, and oh my God, I walked away just like super confused and whatever.
The pressure
It
is
feels like a
hard.
lot. It's like a lot of pressure.
It is. And it's like we want that pressure to an extent. And it's good to have that pressure because we do good work. People come to us for a reason, but we also have to acknowledge we are human. We are human. And sometimes I just feel that so strongly because I've had so many clients come to me and they're like, my friend had the best session. Their whole life is fully better. I want you to do the same for me. And then I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh my God, oh God.
You're like, oh
Okay, I'll
God.
try. I'll try to do it again. Okay. And the other thing is people want me to teach. So many people want me to become a teacher for so long, ever since I started this business. And a lot of it has been like, I am still figuring out how I do what I do. I think it's amazing you want to learn from me, but Jesus, I do not know how to provide that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel that too, especially because I'm coming from an educational place. That's what my show is all about at this point.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that, how my show's kind of morphed from me like learning to me kind of teaching, so to speak.
Yeah. No, you're a very different podcast host than our first interview, which was that really 2 years ago? Has it been that long? I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah. I've
yeah.
been on air for
Wow.
2 years,
That's
and I've
wow.
come a long way. Like, I never thought that my show would get as big as it has.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
it's scary to admit that like first of all, like good job me for like putting in the effort and like
Yes.
getting my show to be as big as it is, even though like in my head I'm like, man, I wish I could have a more successful show. Because it's really hard to not stay in the numbers too, you know?
Yeah.
It's really hard to not live. And this, I don't even know how to tie this back into like like physical health at this point. But I guess like admitting to your own pressures and admitting to these things and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and allowing yourself to be uncomfortable
Yeah.
and know that it like feel like be okay with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's
That is
huge.
like the essence of all healing, is like allowing yourself to be uncomfortable. And
Yes.
I've been uncomfortable for like a long time.
Well, what's your intention with it? Like, you're feeling uncomfortable now. You're making the baby steps. You're making the strides. So where do you want this to take you?
Like me personally.
Yeah, you personally. Like, where is this low time in your life? What is it going to manifest for you? What is it going to bring in that makes it kind of worth it?
Like, okay, my gut reaction is like a few different things, right? My gut reaction, the first thing that popped in my head was money, but really, that's not what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just me coming from a place of like struggling my ass off for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this to turn into like a huge cash cow. I would love to do it full time, you know?
Yeah.
I would love to do it full time and have the time to make a weekly episode or like the bi-weekly and then like a Patreon weekly episode, you know? So it's like every
Yeah.
other week. I would love to do it full time. But like truly, I think it's so funny. I haven't even ever asked myself that question. So you're really catching me in like a moment of self-reflection right now.
It's important to know, like, when times are hard, it's important to know what you're still looking at on the horizon so you can keep your head off the
Yeah.
dirt even for a second.
I guess like man, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that it's to be the best possible version of myself.
Yeah.
so that I can be there for myself.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part, is that was the part where I kind of like had to fight to the top. I had to push it to the top, like being there for myself and doing that first. Because my first impulse was to say, be there for my kids,
Yeah.
but I can't be there for my kids if I'm not there for myself.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
being there for
And
myself.
you teach your kids so much when you show them the example of taking care of yourself. Like a lot of like this is somewhat related, somewhat not, like parents who stay together despite the fact they clearly don't like each other, and the kids see that. And you know what they learn from that? That's what they should have as a relationship growing up. Just being with someone for the sake of being with someone. And it comes back to yourself. Do you care about yourself? Are you there for yourself? Do you do the things you need to do to keep the motor running and want to keep the motor running?
Yeah. And this might be a little dark, but that's okay. Dark thoughts are part of human nature. So
Absolutely.
if this makes people uncomfortable, then you probably have a little bit of self-work to work on. No offense. There have been times in the recent past and present where I've been like, not like, man, I want to die, right? Because that's a little too far for me. But like
Right.
thinking that, man, it would be so much easier if I just wasn't here,
Yeah.
because it's hard. And then like what you just said made me think about like when I put myself first, it's as a father, I want to be there for my kids. And that's like the main motivation behind like getting physically healthy for myself too, is like so that I can live longer to be with my kids
Yeah.
longer.
Definitely. Definitely.
But like at the same time, like being a father and having a podcast where I feel kind of like accountable. It's like thousands and thousands of people, and having a full-time job, having bills to pay, having mouths to feed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot.
I think it is literally, I know it's going to sound weird, but I don't think I've met a single person who hasn't thought about not wanting to exist for a while or wanting it to be over. Like, I think that's part of the human experience, as meek as, or, as sad as that might sound, but it's tiring being down here. And I think our soul knows that most of our existence, I don't think, is actually spent in a physical body. We spend a lot of time out of body in between lives and whatnot. And a lot of times, we move into dimensional spaces where we don't need to take a physical body. So I think part of the time the soul craves the easiness of being on the other side and just being in your soul energy and just vibing. And here it's easy and it's okay to get tired sometime. It doesn't really mean you actually want this to end. And if you do want this to end, then I definitely think it's time for you to find some help and hugs and knowing that there is still worthwhileness out there. But life is hard. And for you, it's just kids are a lot, dude. Kids just seem like a lot. And they're still really young, yours kids. And that's a lot of energy and everything you're doing, especially in this lopsided society that doesn't give back to the working people. Like, of course you're exhausted. Of course you're burned out. Of course you're wondering what it would be like just to not have to deal with this. Like, it's a natural response. It does not mean you want to not be here. And it doesn't mean that being here isn't worthwhile. It's just really tiring right now. That's part of the journey, unfortunately, but kind of fortunately, because I don't think this is your life. I don't think this is what life is for you. I think we have stages in life and you'll reach chapters that are easier and feel better and feel worth it and feel like, yeah, thank God I didn't give up then, because this is worth it now.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. And I don't, like I was saying, it was just kind of like it's kind of like those, I bet there's a lot of people that just heard that and were like, you know what? I really identify with that. I really feel I feel that, like what my brother said when I said I'm fat. I feel that on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of people that were like, oh my God, that's what I've been feeling. And that's okay. But, I used this trick on a client the other day when they were struggling with something really hard. They're like struggling with like making a really hard, difficult life decision. And I said this to them. I said, Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to say the first thing that pops into your head. And I said, why are you here? Like, what's the reason you're here? Just say the first thing that pops in your head. And they said the first thing that popped in their head, and I was like, okay, is being in this, in regards to, I don't want to say too much, but in regards to the situation is the situation that you're currently in, allowing you to do what you just said. And they said, no. And I said, okay, well then I think you know what you have to do.
Boom. Making shifts are hard, but it's worthwhile. I don't know why. That reminded me, like, a lot of times we have to break from the expectation placed on us by our family or society
Oh
and
my
make it.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that
And
as like an ex-Mormon. I feel that hard.
I bet you do, dude. Oh my God. The Mormon land is rough, rough. I have so many Mormon family and it's just a whole different world. But a lot of my energy healing work is helping people realize that they're living in the expectation placed on them as a child. And that life is not authentic to them, which is why they're so unhappy and why they're tired all the time. And releasing that expectation and understanding that that's what it was, and really seeing it at face value that you're 6 years old and your parents are putting impressions in your head of what you should become. And letting that go gives you room to actually find what you want to do here. And the second thing is that people connect to what they want and then they think, oh, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. However, it's exactly what you should go for. It's exactly why you're here. And what you want has the ability to support your life and to support you and make you happy and not tired. Will it make as much as what your parents thought out? Maybe not. Do you need that much? Do you?
That's an excellent point. It really is. It was a very profound thing to say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for saying it. And
Yeah.
I want to kind of swing back around to this, and this is gonna sting, man. I feel like we've covered like a lot of really deep, hard things, and that was just all kind of the preamble to this one really difficult thing. And as soon as I say it, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, you're right," because this is really the hardest part. Okay, and I wonder if you can like kind of like sense or like get a sense of what. Do you have any ideas what I'm gonna say?
No, I probably will be very obvious when you say it, but no,
Okay.
lay it on me.
So the most difficult part, I think, of all of this, like wrapping it all up and pointing us in the direction is is that we have to, with all of this, with what we were just talking about, our situations and the choices and the nexus points and making shifts and our physical health and our spiritual health, our emotional well-being, all of that stuff together. Really what it all comes down to, and this is going to be a real difficult pill to swallow because it's hard and it stings, really. And I'm doing this just for suspense.
I know. It
Accepting
got me in suspense.
Accepting accountability for your actions and the choices that you've made to get to this point in your life.
Yeah.
That is a bitch.
You have to be accountable, but you also have to be forgiving. Because a lot of times you made choices out of the perspective programmed into you, the perspective you were given, and you didn't see beyond those choices. And
or
so,
a
yes,
lack
you made
of choices too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And you have to be like, yeah, I made that choice. It was the wrong choice. Or I chose this because it should have been correct, or it should have been right. It was what I was told would be right. But then also looking at that 18-year-old self, 25-year-old self, or the person who's fed misinformation their whole life and say, like, did you have the tools to make a better choice for yourself? Maybe not. And maybe you did. And you didn't learn until you had it the hard way. And so I think it's a mixture. You have to be accountable. You have to know that you are the way you are because you choose this. Even if your parents screwed you up as a kid, that definitely didn't set you up for success, but you did make choices to get here. That and forgiving the little kid inside who just wasn't set up for success either. I think it's a mixed bag. You need to both accountable, own up to your actions, own up to your mistakes, not be afraid of making mistakes because that's what life is. And then forgiving because now you know, and it's not your fault you didn't know before.
And not just forgiving to the child, but forgiving to the adult who existed last week. Making the best decision that you could with the options that you had available. But I'm going to add a caveat to this. If you made a shitty decision or a bad choice, excuses are going to get you nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really, really, really hard thing. Making excuses is just like the easiest thing in the world, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy to say, like, I'm this way because my mom was however she was to me, or I am this way because I was born with whatever. And
born prematurely. So that's why I eat so much.
And it's kind of like you may have been set up in that direction. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Fuck, what were we talking about? Bring me back to it.
We were talking about
excuses. Yes. Yeah. It's because I've met a lot of people and they're like, well, I have such a hardship because of this. And it's like, yes, you did. But if you take a man with a success story, not someone who's like spoon fed his whole life and like given $1 million to start his business, but someone who had to fight his way to success, he probably also has a hardship in his childhood. He probably had to overcome hardship. You can use your excuse to let yourself behave in an unhealthy way continuously, or you can use it as an excuse to get better. Yeah, this sucked, so I had to get better. Hopefully the words I'm saying have sensical nature to them, because
yeah, they do. It's like there's a difference between having a valid excuse and using that to your advantage, and having a valid excuse but using that to enable self-destructive behavior. So what do we do with this? What's the step that we can take? And I want to get your perspective and my perspective, because I think that having multiple perspectives, and your perspective is going to be probably completely different from my perspective. What do we do with all this? Everything that we've talked about, I always try to like wrap it up into a perfect, neat little package, even though that's not necessarily the most realistic thing. Where can we start? What can we do with this, Alia? What do you think? If somebody's struggling with this, with all this stuff together, and I know that everybody that listens to this will be, how do we stop enabling ourselves to make self-destructive decisions?
Baby steps. You just make a little teeny tiny baby step in the direction you want to go in. And you get excited that you made that baby step. And you don't say like, well, of course I made the baby step. I should have. No, F that. You made the baby step and you defied a lot to do it. And so congratulate every little tiny inch you take in the right direction. Because if you don't, you won't get very far. And a lot of times you take baby steps and then you look back and you realize you went a really, really far away by just moving an inch at a time.
I agree with you. My perspective is the baby steps. I just had like a really weird gurgle. Did you hear that?
That was you?
Yeah, that was totally me.
That's so funny. I thought it was my dog.
No,
they're over here
me.
like asking for stuff.
Anyway, my perspective is the baby steps that's gonna be like, I think, the majority of people's journeys of self-improvement. That's been the majority of my self-improvement journey is baby steps. But I think that, and like I said, this is just my perspective, but I think that like you're going to have to take a big step to get to the baby steps. I think that you're going to have to take a really scary big step and say, I think there's a problem and I need to admit to myself that there's a problem. And that's not a baby step.
Mm-hmm.
You're diving into the deep end when you do that. You're like, because you have to look
Huge.
at yourself and you have to say, you have to take accountability. Like those things go hand in hand, admitting that there's a problem and accepting accountability for your own behavior and your own
Yeah.
mistakes. And that is a big, big step. And I don't think that all the baby steps, you're not going to even want to take baby steps or have the capability to take baby steps if you don't take that big, massive step of admitting that there's a problem and accepting accountability for your own actions.
Yeah. I definitely recognizing what needs to shift is huge, is really, really huge. And I also think I'd like to add, really look at where you want to be in your life. And that seems far because it's a long ways away, maybe. However, you admit that's where I want, and I'm not there right now. So what's keeping me from being there? Like, what am I holding myself back from? Like, what is keeping me? What pain do I have inside? What misconception, false belief do I have that is keeping me from embarking on the journey to get to where I want to go?
That's huge.
Huge.
All this stuff is huge. And like looking back on our conversation, it kind of sounds like, oh, somebody could come in and listen to this and be like, okay, well, that's all common sense stuff. Yeah, it is. But, if you're in the moment and you're struggling with this and you're like, there's something wrong in my life, maybe this can help you.
Yeah.
Deep self-reflection is a powerful tool. But the caveat that you keep coming back to, and I totally agree with, is when you do this whole process, you have to admit there's a problem. You have to take the accountability, but you also have to be nice to yourself and understand that you did the best you could with what you had.
Yeah.
We are not people are not prepared to come and live in this world the way that it is set up.
Mm-mm.
It is a hard world to live in. Like think about all the things, and we don't have to even get into this, but I want anybody listening to think about every single little thing that comes up during the day that you have to spend just a little fraction of your energy worrying about. Like from the world at large, like the macro to the micro. We're as humans not designed to exist on a macro scale, and we're being forced to live on a macro scale. So not only do you have to worry about every little thing that's happening in your own tiny little existence in your own little world, but then you've got your city, and then in America at least, your state, your country, the world, everything and every little thing that interacts inside of that. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And as someone who's done a lot of past life readings, I've seen so many communities where people thrive because guess what? They're in a community that's there to support each other. And we in our society, we're not really in the community, and yet we're surrounded by faces. We're surrounded by opinions. We're surrounded by the society, but it's not a community. And if you are in a community, good for you. Good job. You found it. But it's like we naturally are community-born creatures, and we're born into a world that's just pressure and opinions and loud voices everywhere without the sense of helping one another out. And that's hard.
It is hard. And that's why I think that with all of this, and this started off as a conversation about physical health, but it's so much more than that. With all of this, and it's hard. Like the self-improvement stuff, it's hard because you have to be nice to yourself. But you know what? You deserve a little bit of credit. Yeah, I think that's what it all comes down to. I think the big takeaway from this whole thing is just, I think you deserve a little bit of credit. Everybody.
Yeah. And if you're saying, no, I don't, then honey, you need to give yourself a hug and reprimand whatever parent or whatever guardian put you in that place, because you deserve credit just for being you. You're trying.
Yeah. Give me a call or reach out to Alia. And speaking of that, Alia, once again, where can people find you? You do such great work and you have such amazing opinions and all that stuff. You're welcome. Where can people reach out to you? Where can they find you? What do you got going on?
So, for those of you who don't know, I'm an energetic healer and seer. I work with healing the timeline, healing trauma from the body, and helping people just kind of seize the life that they want to live instead of the one they've been living. I am also going to apologize if you hear my dogs talking in the background. So basically, I do energy healings. I do energy readings. I'm really good at checking the energy of people, places, things. I'm a past life reader. And my past life readings, I've grown so much since the last time I talked to you. I really feel like I know how to do the readings in the most effective, influential way now. But to find me, you can find me on my website, www.glowinggaea.com. It's glowinggaia.com. I'm also on Instagram, which is also Glowing Gaia, Gaea. You can always reach out to me. My email also is alia@glowinggaia.com. And if you want to book a session with me, if you want to just see what I offer, I have my full menu there. My books are open, so you're welcome to come on in and join this healing journey with me. And yeah.
Links to all those can be found in the show notes or the description, depending on where you're listening. And Alia, thanks again for coming on. I'm definitely going to have you come back eventually. I think you're going to be a regular on here. You got to be.
I would love to be a regular. I would love to be a regular. You and I talk very easily. Like,
we're friends.
We are friends. No, I love talking to you. These conversations, like, you literally watched me go through healing, like
I know.
recognizing something.
We both
podcast.
Did it in this episode.
Both did. Yeah, we both
made a lot of progress.
We had profound moments today, and that's a victory worth celebrating for sure. Whenever you want me back, Ian, I am more than happy to come back. Absolutely.
Perfect. And I will have you back. Reach out to Alia if you want to go through a journey of self-discovery and learn a little bit about your past lives, your energetic field, all that stuff.
If you just want to feel lighter.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was very well put. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Much appreciation to you, Ian.
That's it for today's episode. I would like to thank Alia for coming on to the show. I would like to thank you for tuning in. Definitely go check out Alia's website. Book a session with her. She's super great to work with. After this podcast was over, I made a super, super huge spiritual discovery moment that really helped me, and I couldn't have done it without her. If you want to come on the show to talk about your experiences or work something out with me even, shoot me an email. My email is theregressionsession@gmail.com, and I would love to have you on the show.
Chest